Hey y'all, it's Terry Willingham, founder of the Bossy Beauty brand, and I want to come in here and talk to y'all about something that I think is look at that, would y'all look at that, is a common occurrence in our industry if you're in network marketing, and I want to talk to you about it and kind of help you turn this around into something that's going to shift everything in your life. Because I'm going to talk to you, if you have ever had someone say, oh, you're in a pyramid thing, or accuse you. Is that one of those pyramid things? Like, I'm going to show you how to turn the fear of that question into power that serves you. I'm sorry, but that right there is so distracting. Y'all, that's new growth in my hair. It's just sticking up. It looks terrible. Okay, so if you've ever had someone cut you down in some way, like maybe with that line, or maybe even something different, then chances are that maybe you maybe if it was in public, you just sort of chuckled a little bit, you kind of laughed it off, you looked away, you changed the subject, you stared at the ceiling, something, but you didn't stand up for yourself. You just kind of, giggled about it and went on. This is going to help you so much, because I had something happen to me last night. Last night, I was at my son's choir concert. Now, I will preface this by saying there's a former friend who has a son in this same choir, and we used to be friends years and years ago at a different school when our boys were smaller. So I've known this woman for quite a while, and here's what I will tell you about her. She is one of these people who's a bit awkwardly social, and to make up for that, she says things very loudly, usually in a cynical or sarcastic way, and it comes across, a little bit rude to the person, but she does it under the guise of trying to be sort of friendly. And so she comes up to me, and I let me give you an example so that you know what I'm talking about. Like, one of the last times I had much to say to her was at a basketball game, my son's basketball game a couple years ago, and I was there watching, and she came up to me after the game, and she said, I saw you over there prissing around like you're Miss Got Rocks, like you think you're somebody. And I kind of went, girl, what are you talking about? I didn't think. And she goes, no, you do it. You do. And that's a bit of a put down. She's saying it smiling, but it's a put down. It is. And so when she walked up last night, I thought, oh, here we go. I got that feeling of, oh, here she comes. Here we go. Well, sure enough, the first thing she says to me is, oh, hello, Miss Influencer. And I'm like, again, girl, whatever. I don't know what you're even talking about. She goes, you are. You're an influencer. Now, y'all, I am not what I consider an influencer. I consider an influencer to be someone who has pretty large Instagram following. They put out multiple offers over products, clothing, whatever they do. It's just like an affiliate link. That's what I consider to be an influencer. So I don't really consider myself that, but I'm like, whatever, girl. And her husband walks up and says, is that really a thing? And I just kind of looked at him and said, it is a thing, but it's not one that I am. She goes, yes, you are. And he goes, well, what are y'all talking about? And she looks at me and she goes, well, Terry started out with these hair products, but now it's a complete pyramid scheme. And now she's an influencer. And y'all, in the past, when she had said that to me, I would have done exactly what I told you at the very first. I would have kind of gone and just blown it off, looked away, kind of embarrassed. Now, mind you, she says this in a really loud voice, and this entire auditorium area where we're all waiting for our children to come out and, from changing clothes is full of parents. And she says this very loudly. And so she just announces this to this entire room in her loud, sarcastic voice. Now, in the past, like I said, I would have kind of been embarrassed, and I'd think, oh, I hope not too many people heard that. She's kind of telling people what I do, but not this time. Not this time. Something in me rose up, y'all. I immediately stopped her. I said, no, Amy, it's not a pyramid scheme. And she goes, well, it is a pyramid scheme. I said, you mean the kind like where you have a CEO and management and then employees, that kind of pyramid scheme? And she kind of got this startled look on her face, and she goes, well, yeah, you could call that a pyramid scheme. I said, that's exactly what I call it. I said, models are all the same. Mine is just goes to market a little differently than yours. And she immediately, because I said it in such a strong way, she kind of looked at me and she shifted the conversation. Like the conversation changed to something else. In fact, it shifted to something else I want to tell you is that people are watching, y'all. You don't realize they aren't commenting. They aren't letting you know that they are there, but they are, anything you put out, they are secretly watching. She immediately, when we started talking about something else, she started talking about one of my posts, and she quoted verbatim a post about energy that I had put out. She just verbatim started quoting to me. She read that thing line for line, like she studied it for a test. So here's the deal. If we don't hold our ground we will always be getting dirt kicked in our face when someone says something like that to us. But this time when I was the person who stepped up and she said that about the pyramid scheme and I had this powerful reply, I didn't look like the small one, y'all. I was the powerful woman who stood up for what I do and what I believe in, and she came across as the slouchy loudmouth. Not because of anything I said about her, not her mannerisms, not her the way her appearance, not I didn't say anything rude to her. I just simply stood in my power, and the energy in the room shifted because I did that. It shifted. So, how can you start to learn to do this? I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can start to learn to do this, and it will make such a difference in your life. The first one is you absolutely must believe in what you do, in the products in the business. You cannot get around this. You got to believe that they help someone and the business works. You got to work on this if you're not strong in this area, and if you just can't get there, then find a company where you can believe that, because without that, you're nothing. You're not going to go anywhere if you don't believe that. The second thing is you have to raise the awareness around your own personal power. You got to start to see how really strong you are on the inside. And then you got to let that inner strength start to bubble up, rise to the surface, and start to show in the way you say and the way you do things. The third thing is you got to start to walk and talk differently about you, about what you do, about where you are going. Let me give you a visual example. You can be talking to people like this, or you can talk to people like this. One is way more powerful. Start to do the second kind. Start to be the second woman. The fourth thing is, remember how I told you how people are always watching? These changes that I'm giving you tips about, they got to be a daily thing. Like every day, you've got to walk and talk the part. You gotta put it out there wherever you go, whatever you're doing, so that the people that around you, the people that see you, those that are secretly watching, whatever, all these things you put out, they got to reflect your new thoughts and the power you're walking in, so that people are impacted even when you don't know it. Every single day, it's got to be consistent daily habit. You got to work on it. The fifth thing is you got to start learning how your energy and your design can help you not just succeed, but actually soar, so that you go places that you could only dream about up until now. And if you're thinking, that sounds pretty good, Terry, but how in the world am I going to do that? I am going to do a free masterclass coming up. I'm going to be collaborating with a friend of mine who is really strong. She has her strengths in areas, and I have my strengths in my areas, and we're going to do this thing together because there is a real need for this right now. Like, I see it so widely in places that women need to learn how to do this. I mean, it's a time for feminine power to rise, and it is a time for us to step into those shoes, and it is time for those of us who are leaders to get with it and shine. So, because y'all, I'm just telling you, there's a need for this. We're going to put this together. If you want to be a part of it, that would be fantastic. And here's the whole thing, because what I stepped into last night, if you can learn how to do that, how to raise your awareness and step into that, you're going to become unstoppable. The petty things that people throw at you, those darts that you're constantly dodging, none of that's going to matter anymore, because you're now going to be the person who influences not only those around you, but those who are secretly watching you. And it's going to make a difference in every single way. All right, that is what I have for you today. Let me know below if this is something that you're going to be watching for, because I am going to be creating this very soon with my friend. We just started putting the content together. I'm super excited about it, and I think it's going to make a big difference. All right, I will talk to you soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye.